Aqua and Ruby Hoshino's father is based on a real-life person, Mackenyu Arata, who has recently been shown as Zoro in the One Piece live-action series by Netflix, is who this character is based on. Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. For those who don't know, my name is Tifa and this video is going to contain a lot of spoilers. I would also like it noted that I have not seen anybody else make a video on this or find this comparison. I'm kind of surprised I was actually able to put two and two together, considering this is a pretty big part of the Oshi No Ko story. The main plot in Oshi No Ko revolves around Ai Hoshino, a 16-year-old idol who gets pregnant by a mystery man, gives birth to twins in secret, and then a few years later dies immediately after giving her ex-partner her address. Due to this, we see the story from one of the twins' perspectives, which is Aqua, and his revenge plot, trying to find his father because he realizes there is a connection here, considering he was the last person to know where she lives, and something just doesn't quite add up there, doesn't it? Aqua goes through a variety of different things trying to figure out who his father is. At one point in the story, he thinks he's figured it out as he finds out that he has a half-brother. But later on he finds out that person isn't actually his father, and with the help of Akane Kurokawa, he ends up finding who his father actually is. Hikaru Kamiki was an actor at the La 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 theatrical company at a very young age. At this theatre company there were tapes of him acting at about 11 years old, which Akane finds out and soon makes the connection to who he is. It is made quite apparent in the manga that Hikaru is attractive. Even at a young age, a lot of other women would tell him how attractive and good looking he is. And at 11 years old, he got together with an older woman. This woman was Ari Himekawa, which is the mother of the half-brother that Aqua found. And she was about 30 to 40 years old, roughly in that age bracket, and married when she had this sexual relationship with the 11-year-old Hikaru. Now, whether or not this relationship was consensual is highly debated amongst Oshi No Ko fans. In Japan, the age of consent is 13, and Hikaru was 11 when he entered this relationship and got Himekawa pregnant. This would be considered statutory rape. Aqua meets Taiki Himekawa, a theatre actor, while he is rehearsing and performing a play called Tokyo Blade. Taiki Himekawa is Aqua's half-brother and they share the same father, which is Hikaru. Taiki's mother dies not too long after giving birth to him in a murder-suicide with her husband. Now, whether or not that actually was a murder-suicide or Hikaru was involved in it, we're not quite 100% sure, but it could definitely have been a murder-suicide, considering that her husband could have found out that she was having an affair with an 11-year-old. This is actually a pretty tragic part of the story and somewhat shocking, because everything we know about Hikaru, about Aqua's father, is from Aqua's point of view and what we have been shown. And basically we were shown nothing up until this point. All we knew was that he had some relation to Ai Hoshino's death and to the death of the doctor that became Aqua Hoshino. Ai Hoshino got pregnant at 16 and Hikaru was about 14 to 15 years old. They were a bit closer in age, with him only being about a year younger, and they had met through the same theatre company as well. A few years after Ai Hoshino had given birth to the twins, she died as well, showcasing a pattern between the pregnancies and the deaths of the mothers. Hikaru Kamiki's real-life counterpart shares some similarities and some differences. There is one story in particular to do with Mackenyu which has been adopted in the Oshi No Ko story. You see, Mackenyu is a pretty popular actor in Japan, and now because of his role as Zoro in One Piece, he's known pretty worldwide. His father was also a well-known figure. Sonny Chiba is the father of Mackenyu, and he was well known for his martial arts skill and being in a variety of Hollywood films. Due to the fact that Sonny Chiba is well known, Mackenyu spent a fair bit of time in the limelight even before he decided to be an actor. Now, I know this story isn't going to be exactly the same as Oshi No Ko for a variety of different reasons. Mainly due to the potential of being sued, not being able to confirm certain details, and also just taking creative liberties with the true life stories, which Akasaka has done in the previous Oshi No Ko manga chapters and anime episodes. You see, Mackenyu was 14 when he was victimized by an older woman. It has been said that Mackenyu fathered a baby with this woman. She was about 30 to 40 years old at the time, and she was married. This shows the same age range and marital status as the character in Oshi No Ko, and it showcases the same story. This was originally stated in the Japanese magazine Friday back in about 2016, I believe. When the information first came out, I think it was quite shocking to a lot of people because they knew Mackenyu as the son of Sonny Chiba. The story came out a few years after the incident actually happened, and when the story did come out, the child was actually about 5 years old at that point in time. So it had been 5 years since anyone knew about this. The story sparked a court case. Apparently, Mackenyu's father was very angry about this and about this kind of blight to their reputation, as well as the fact that an older woman had taken advantage of his son. This incident apparently happened in America. Mackenyu and his family traveled a lot between America and Japan because of his father's films and career. In Japan, the age of consent is 13, making Mackenyu the age of consent. But in California, LA, the age of consent is 18, which is where the incident happened and where the court case was held. The court case quickly came to a close, even though it was Mackenyu's father who had instigated it. Mackenyu had stated in court that this was a consensual relationship, and so the court closed the case. There are a few stories about actors having illegitimate children or children out of wedlock, but in Japan, when those stories come to light, it does leave quite a negative impact on an actor's reputation. However, due to the fact that Mackenyu was 14 years old, I think a lot of people took a little bit of pity on him, and this happened before his acting career really started. I feel like the effects were quite different for him in comparison to, say, an older actor who had an affair and had a child. If we compare Hikaru's story and Mackenyu's story, Hikaru is underage within the laws of Japan and Mackenyu is underage within the laws of America. Even though he is technically of age within Japan, I can see that Akasaka has taken this story and made him underage as the character of Hikaru in order to discuss these consensual laws and those who are within the entertainment industry. Both the character of Hikaru and the actor Mackenyu were children having children themselves, and considering Mackenyu's popularity within Japan and his father's popularity and the fact that their family are just well known, I can definitely see this being the story that Akasaka has used because of this popularity, and it's something that when you read it, you kind of go, wow, that's crazy. And to find out that something like that is true Much like other stories in Oshi No Ko, it really emphasizes the dark side of the entertainment industry, which is the point of Oshi No Ko. Now, there is a second part to this story. A YouTuber was recently arrested due to some remarks that he made on his YouTube channel about Mackenyu. In America, when you see a defamation case, it is a civil suit. In Japan, you can get arrested for defamation. Whether or not what you say is true or false, you can still be arrested because you defamed someone's character. Obviously, you can fight this if you believe what you are saying is factual, and you can definitely take it to court to try and fight your side of things, but that doesn't mean that you won't be arrested even if what you say is true. The YouTuber that goes by the name of Gassy was the one who released a video discussing Mackenyu. I know a lot of people, especially in Japan, have specific views on Gassy and the type of content that he creates, but he did have 1.3 million followers who believed in what he was saying, and I felt that it was worth mentioning because even rumors can add to someone's character when using them creatively within a story. We saw this with Mana Ashida, who was used for Kana Arima. Some rumors about her didn't have any real basis around them, but they were still used within the Oshi No Ko story, and I feel like these rumors are worth bringing up, even though it's technically hearsay because we don't have any evidence to have a look at it ourselves. You see, Gassy had stated that Mackenyu had ties to gang crimes such as the Yakuza, that he had sexually assaulted someone, that he had given death threats to certain people, and that he was just involved in criminal activity, which is a pretty intense thing to say. Outside of YouTube, Gassy was also part of the political sphere in Japan. He was a member of the House of Councillors, which is kind of crazy to think about now. As the video on this channel has been taken down and the channel itself, I can't exactly show the evidence that he gave to back up what he was saying, if he had any evidence at all, but he has recently been arrested. Last year there was a warrant for his arrest, and recently he has returned back to Japan and is currently in jail awaiting trial. So we won't know how much of this is real or where he got this information from until the court case actually happens. So for now, this is all hearsay and rumors until we can actually see the evidence. All of this relates to Hikaru's character. Hikaru is considered quite attractive, and Mackenyu is known for being quite attractive. Hikaru was part of a relationship with an older woman, and Mackenyu experienced the same thing. Hikaru is said to have criminal tendencies, and there are rumors that discuss Mackenyu and potential criminal acts. So I feel like these are the aspects that have been taken from Mackenyu and the story that surrounds him and his reputation to Hikaru in Oshi No Ko. Mackenyu's agency did release a statement discussing the whole YouTuber rumors. Arata, Mackenyu's agency, has released an official statement regarding the accusations made by YouTuber Gassy. The office stated that Mr. Higashiya's remarks include obvious falsehoods, factual misunderstandings, and contradictions. They also denied that Mackenyu did not commit any of these criminal acts. They will take legal action immediately after consulting with a lawyer. As previously stated, the YouTuber has now been arrested, and a lot of people have mixed opinions on him specifically as well, so we won't know what is the truth or whether or not anything that he says has any evidence behind it until the court case actually happens. I do wonder if the warrant for Gassy's arrest also impacted the story of Oshi No Ko, and is why certain aspects about Hikaru's character are different from the true story. I have been quite a fan of Mackenyu for a while now. He's a great martial artist and a brilliant actor, so I think that he's gonna do amazingly as Zoro in the One Piece live action. He might also be the only part of the live action that I personally will enjoy. The situation with him at the age of 14 and the relationship that he had is somewhat sad, especially fathering a kid at that age. With the rumors to do with Gassy's video, I do hope that they end up being false and that is showcased within the court. If they are true, I'm surprised that no one went to police about it, but I guess we'll see. I will link the sources and screenshots down below for you guys in a Google document so you can have a look at the research that I've done myself and my source material on this. The similarities between Hikaru and Mackenyu are definitely there, and all of that evidence will be showcased down below. Let me know down below what you think about this comparison and if there are any other true stories from Oshi No Ko that you can think of. If you like this type of anime video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, and if you want to see more anime related content, then don't forget to subscribe. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.